The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 865. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. I would love your support if you can pre-order a copy of my upcoming book, The Tao of Self-Confidence, a guide to moving beyond trauma and awakening the leader within. Pre-order your copy on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Walmart, and all other book retailers. You will also receive bonus gifts for pre-ordering. Just send your proof of purchase to info@shinayapchan.com to receive your free gifts. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal woman on the show today. She is the founder of The Joyful Optimist, and I'm so excited to have her on to share her story and wisdom on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Sandy Kusano. Sandy, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Hey, Sheena, great to be here. Thanks so much for having me. I am a life coach, and I work specifically with high-powered Asian women who are ready to find balance and joy in their lives, both professionally and personally.
I love that. And I know as Asian women, we don't even know how to balance that. So thank goodness we have someone like you who can show us the way. Yeah, we've been conditioned to always take care of others, and we forget to take care of ourselves and fill our cup up. So it's really important that work is needed. So I love what you do. And Sandy, what's your cultural background?
Sure, I'm half Japanese, half Korean. Born in Japan, grew up in Korea, and then immigrated to the US. Spent, most of my formative years in California and then out east in Boston for college and so on. And got to travel and live throughout the world as well throughout my various professional endeavors. But yes, very strongly tied to both of my heritage.
I love that. And thanks for sharing that. And what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
Favorite self-confidence quote. This one helps me. It's instead of saying when you're kind of down the slumps or something, you feel like the world's against you. We always kind of say, why is this happening to me? So I say, change the 2 to a 4. So instead of why is this happening to me, you ask, why is this happening for me?
I love that quote. And it's such a great reminder, especially when, as you keep leveling up in your business and life, there's going to be a lot of pushback that happens, right? And sometimes you're in this, like, what did I just do to myself kind of moment? And you're like overwhelmed and frustrated and you just want to cry. And then sometimes you just got to take a step back and ask yourself, why is this happening for me? What's the lesson? Because no matter what we do, especially when we're doing, this kind of work and constantly leveling up, there's always going to be setbacks and challenges that's going to happen. And so, we're more than capable to go out there and just overcome it, make it happen, and take action. So I love that question, that quote that you mentioned. And in your own words, how do you define self-confidence?
I would say that it's about being able to connect to your sage self or your true self. So it's when I'm able to balance. For me personally, it's about when I can get in with not just my head brain, but my heart brain and my gut brain. That's when I feel confident. That's when I feel aligned. Whereas when I'm not, it's just kind of like when you have a million things buzzing through your head or your heart's palpitating or your stomach feels uneasy. But just when, for me, self-confidence is the alignment of not just your head, but your whole body, your whole being.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that great definition. And Sandy, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
It was difficult, and I'm still a work in progress. No one really gets it right. But I think when you're able to express empathy for yourself, that you're not a perfect being and that you're constantly going to be growing and changing. And I started to really accept that life works in cycles, that you're always going to have ups and downs, and to not get hung up on that, right? When you're, and just being able to get through and see life as cycles. I think that was something that was different for me, that there are going to be times when I'm meant to be growing and changing and evolving. You're not meant to stay the same. And so during the most difficult times when you don't feel like yourself, you can also look at it as a time period of growth and give yourself empathy to grow and change and expand and cycle into something newer and better potentially. So
I love that. And it's so true, right? I think sometimes, especially in Asian culture, when you're taught to do one way of things, you just do what you're told, right? Not realizing, the environment back then isn't the same as now, and things will change. Life cycles will change, seasons. Yeah. So, when we don't practice that, then we feel like, oh my God, we're a failure, right? We have to learn to adapt to change, to adapt to different environments, because then we can be able to build our confidence, build our courage, and be able to take action no matter what that pushback or setback may be. And so, what was that point in your life, especially, becoming a entrepreneur or coach? It's not always typical to go out there and forge your own path, be a trailblazer. What was that aha moment that made you decide to do that?
it was just this feeling that I needed something more for myself, that clicking. I was working in what I would consider my dream job. I was running a student travel company. I was traveling the world. It was this moment it was something that I had aimed for all my life to kind of be a managing partner in running this company. And then I noticed that every part of my life I wasn't happy, and that it wasn't just about my job, and it wasn't just about achievement. It's a great experience in life to suddenly realize that you don't have to wait to be happy for the outcome. You don't have to pause your happiness, but that you can find joy in your life every day without, and that's a big thing, especially in the Asian community. It's kind of like, get to the right college, get to the right job, get to all those things, you get conditioned. And I suddenly realized that that wasn't what life is about, at least not for me. And that's not what confidence is about. It was about being happy regardless, and being happy with myself and who I am, regardless of all the labels and the bells and whistles. And that allowed me to take bigger leaps, to do things that made me feel fulfilled. I want to help people, and I want to help women like myself. And every time I meet someone and coach them and can get them to their aha moment, it just solidifies that I'm on the right path.
I love that. And I'm pretty sure it's not easy too, because you come from two, rigid Asian cultures, right? So to break out of that, it does take a lot of work, a lot of unprogramming to realize your potential. And so because of that realization, what's your life been like now?
So much more free, so much more at ease. And, don't get me wrong, I still have moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? But, overall, and I think there's something also very rewarding as a woman in general to be able to work on my terms. I've worked under other people's terms for so long. And while I enjoyed my corporate career, being able to, and it's not easy being an entrepreneur and doing your own thing, but just being able to advocate and work for yourself in that sense, and work along the lines of your passion or what you believe in, why you're here on this earth, is super rewarding.
I love that. And, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you'd give to her?
Look in the mirror and reconnect with your true self. And what I mean by that is to look for, just visualize who you were when you were 6, what, that child that you were, that, the pure essence, your pure essence. I think that's a good way to start.
I like that. I mean, when we're a child, we're just so innocent. We just go out there and do things without even like overthinking it to a T. If we fall down, we cry and we get up. Not like now as adults, sometimes we get too scared to like take the first step because we're like constantly thinking, oh, am I gonna fail? Oh, am I gonna get rejected? Am I gonna get ghosted? And I mean, we're all guilty of that, even me, right? I mean, I talk about confidence, but I mean, I still have a lot of fears. I still go through a lot of stuff, but I've been able to have the tools and resources to keep moving forward. So, of course, there's days where I'm just like, I feel defeated because we're all human, but we can always get back up and keep moving forward. So, I love that tip that you mentioned. And If our listeners want to get to know a little bit about you or what you do or want to work with you as a coach, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, they can follow me on Insta or TikTok, Joyful Optimist. Also come to my website, joyfuloptimist.com. I'm doing special for Asian women throughout the month of May, where I'll be giving some discounted and free coaching for Asian women and taking them through a very special program to help them kind of connect with their true selves and their essence, get back to basics. And so I do this every May to give back to our community. And so it's a joy for me to be able to do that.
I love that. And so to our listeners, if you want to connect with Sandy, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Sandy's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else that we talked about. And I really just want to thank Sandy today for taking the time to share her story and wisdom on self-confidence. So thank you so much, Sandy.
Thank you, Sheena. It's been awesome to be here with you.
Not a problem. It's been such an honor that you're here as our guest. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. You can order your copy of Asian Women Who Boss Up book by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.